my channel. It has been a minute since I made a YouTube video, but I'm really excited to be here with you today because I'm going to share with you our easy, flavorful tacos. I have been away for a very good reason. We recently made the decision to start our next process in our next future home. So we are going to build our home, hopefully to move in by early summer next year. And so that's been really exciting and busy. And so I'm really happy to share that process of building a home with you guys as well through the channel. So that's what I've been doing the last 2 to 3 weeks here. But now that things are finally settling down, I can get into making YouTube videos again for you. And this one is such a treat. So this recipe actually came out of the Iron Chef competition I was in, featuring Chef AJ on her channel. And so I will link it up above if anyone missed out on that. It was a couple months back. But we made these delicious tacos that have totally been a staple in our life. And I'm so excited to kind of whip it up together and show you how easy, quick, and flavorful they can be. So in the Iron Chef competition, she gave us 3 ingredients to use. We had a head of cauliflower, we had sun-dried tomatoes, and we also had sweet potatoes. I have the sweet potatoes cooked over on the side. We're going to use that when we assemble our tacos, but the sun-dried tomatoes and the cauliflower we're going to use to make a taco meat, which is so easy and the texture is so spot on, and then with the spices it just knocks it out of the park. So if you guys want, check out the show notes down below. I always just copy and paste the recipes in there so you don't even have to go anywhere else. If you want to go to our website, the link is there as well. You can print off this recipe at home, so you don't have to take notes. These videos are really just to be really thorough with you guys if you guys want to see me actually make them, to walk you through it. But you can head over there and print this out and make it and have it ready to go. So I'm going to kind of walk you guys through it. The only thing I did ahead of time was cook the sweet potatoes. I just roast them in the oven. I take a sweet potato, I poke a bunch of holes in it. I roast them until they're nice and caramelized and cooked through. Usually I cook them at 350 for around 40 minutes to an hour, depending on how large the sweet potato is. And that part is optional. You don't have to put sweet potatoes in your tacos, but it does add to kind of a creaminess to the tacos when you go to bite into them. It kind of gives it a nice texture along with the meat we're going to make right now. So try it out. I think it's really awesome to add them in. But if you don't have any sweet potatoes at home, you definitely can just make the tacos and add any toppings that you'd like. So for the taco meat, we're going to use a head of cauliflower. Now this was a medium to large head, and I'm going to put it all in our food processor. That's really going to be our main tool for this recipe. And so I just kind of loosely chopped the cauliflower up just to make it a little bit easier to add in. Now if you want to use cauliflower rice, frozen cauliflower rice, that's fine. That's even an easier step. That's totally optional to you. You know, I love this because school is getting ready to start back up for me in teaching, so having a quick meal is perfect. And you could also make this ahead, you know, earlier in the week and then kind of just assemble your tacos. So that's another great thing I love about this as well. So I have a cup of sun-dried tomatoes that I just soaked in hot water just to let everything soften. And then I've drained the water off, and now I have these really nice soft tomatoes that I'm going to add in. And this gives it so much flavor. I don't usually cook with sun-dried tomatoes, but the amount of punch of flavor it gives it is totally worth it. So I just found sun-dried tomatoes, one ingredient at our local co-op here in Pittsburgh, and you can find it online on Amazon, but that's definitely something you don't want to skip out on. Alright, the third main ingredient for this is walnuts. Now I'm only using a very small amount of walnuts. There's only 1/4 cup for the entire amount. This makes enough tacos for 6 to 8 people, but it does add a little bit of a different texture to this, so I totally recommend sticking with the walnuts. Although if you do have a nut allergy, you can leave it out and it would still be delicious as is. But I like to add in 1/4 cup of raw walnuts. Last up is our miso and seasoning. Now I do have a little bit of miso. It's 1 teaspoon of white miso. That's our salt substitute. It's going to help bring out all the flavors in this dish. So I really like using that as well. If you guys know, I follow Dr. Greger's recommendation, and miso is one of the things that you can have that doesn't affect your blood pressure or cardiovascular system. So I don't go crazy with the amount of misos that I add in recipes, but a little bit goes a long way, which is really nice. So again, 1 teaspoon of miso for the entire dish. Up next is our taco seasoning blend. So I have 1/2 of a tablespoon of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cumin, 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper. You also could add red chili flakes to this if you wanted to. You could have a mild or spicy chili powder. Really is dependent on your spice level for this. I like kind of going right in the middle, and then anyone who wants extra spice could add hot sauce to their dish, but that's totally optional as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to blend everything together. With the sun-dried tomatoes being soaked and kind of reconstituted, it really helps everything blend. Now, depending on your blender, you may need to scrape it down halfway through and then keep blending. But I've noticed with this, I don't really need to add any extra liquid. You could add a tiny bit of water to this to help it out, but you want to make sure that you don't blend it into a mush. It should still have texture to it, is kind of our goal. It's not like we're making burgers here. We want to make taco meat, so you still want to have all that texture involved. So I'm going to give this a quick blend, and then I want you to think about how you want to serve these tacos. So I do have I think it's a 3-ingredient corn tortilla that I usually make. I usually brown the tortilla on each side for just a second or so to kind of make them a little bit more flexible. And then our corn tortillas are just corn, water, and lime from Trader Joe's. You can, of course, make your own. You also could serve this in a lettuce cup or on a salad or over a whole grain like rice or bulgur wheat or something like that. It's really just a replacement for taco meat. So any way that you've used taco meat in the past, you can use with this recipe, which is what I love. So I'm going to go blend this, grab our taco items to kind of assemble, grab those cooked sweet potatoes, and dinner is done. Again, so easy. You also can cook this 2 different ways. You can, of course, bake this in the oven and just kind of crumble it out into a parchment-lined baking dish. You can bake it for just a little bit. We're really just trying to warm everything to serve it so it's warm. You're not really trying to cook anything per se. So just for a couple minutes in your oven until it's nice and warm. Or you can use a saute pan and warm everything that way on the stovetop. Either way, doesn't matter, whatever you prefer, it's going to be delicious. You just want to serve this part warm. Alright, let me go mix this up. I'll see you guys in a second. Once everything is well combined, again, you can move this to a skillet on a stovetop and just warm everything through, or you can move it to your oven, parchment-lined baking dish is what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to bake it for around 10 minutes at 350. Again, just to kind of warm everything together, let everything kind of soften just a tiny bit. And at that same time, I can kind of build my taco bar. I love to do those. So you could make so many toppings for a taco. You can do our sour cream. We have a low-fat guacamole you could do. You could also do salsa. We're going to use sweet potatoes tonight for ours. Literally cabbage, our taco corn tortilla, the sweet potatoes, the meat, and that's it. It's delicious and easy. But so many different variations of it you could do. These also would make great on if you wanted to make nachos with this. I'm just saying, there are so many alternatives that you can play around with. Alright, and I'm just going to spread it out on my baking dish. It makes a good amount. And, you know, the majority of this is cauliflower. So this is a great recipe, especially if you guys are in weight loss mode as well to have. And I find that this is much more flavorful than a lot of other cauliflower rice dishes that you might have tried. Alright, See, it makes quite a lot. So I just go ahead, it doesn't have to be completely spread out, but I like to kind of make sure it's even on my paper, parchment paper, and then I'm just gonna pop this into the oven. Again, 350 for around 10 minutes or so. I'm just kind of warming everything through and getting everything else ready for our tacos tonight for dinner. This is a highly requested dinner of ours in our household. We make it almost every week since I've done the Iron Chef. So I'm very happy that the outcome of this recipe turned out so well. All right, I will see you guys in just a second when I pop this out of the oven. After everything comes out of the oven or you've heated it on the skillet, it should smell so good. And so, like I said, I like to get the corn tortillas. Now, what I do with the corn tortillas, especially the ones that are very minimal ingredients, I just heat them on a skillet, dry skillet, for, you know, it can take like 30 seconds on each side. You can kind of see depending on how high you have the heat, but they become nice and soft. So a lot of times people will complain that corn tortillas taste rubbery. If you heat them for a little bit on each side, it really reduces that and they become very delicious and soft and amazing. So I like to grab, when I serve at this dish too, you know, anytime you have guests or family members you're trying to eat plant-based, if you can let them eat with their eyes as well, so making your dishes very colorful and beautiful and making the food look like tacos that they remember can be really helpful. So I like to go ahead, like this is for me, my husband, so I have our taco shells already. I'm gonna fill them, and it's in this really nice glass dish. It's like a little pan, and so I'll just fill these and they end up being beautiful colors because we're gonna add in some steamed kale and cabbage, just water sauteed cabbage and kale, which is awesome. I have some orange sweet potatoes, and the sweet potatoes, if you add in those, kind of remind you of a similar texture as guacamole, so that can be really nice too when you're doing this. I like different textures as well. It's really fun in the kitchen to do that. And then our taco meat. And so if you're in weight loss mode, I suggest having this. You can have this as a taco salad, you can have it in a lettuce cup, you can have it on a whole grain. If you're not in weight loss mode, I really like the corn tortillas, or you can do a little bit of corn tortillas and mix in maybe rice on a salad, or this mixture on a salad. So you can play around with whatever goals or plan that you're following. And so I'm just gonna assemble. And what I like to do is I like to add a little bit of the greens first and just fill up those cups. I also form these while they're soft. I just kind of form them into taco shells, which just makes life easy. Putting a little bit in each one. And again, our recipe is on our website. It's a free printable PDF of this, so you can head over that. I added in all of those different ideas for ways to use the taco meat, which is really awesome. And then you can also put salsa, hot sauce, guacamole, whatever you like, sour cream. Our sour cream, if you make that, is really an awesome spin on tacos. So I am so excited. This is going to be a great dinner. So then I'll go in with just a little bit of the sweet potatoes that are cooked. Just a couple pieces in each taco are really nice. This makes quite a large amount, which is nice. If you have a big family or like leftovers, this is the recipe for you, or you're having guests. Spoon in some of that taco meat. And what a fun taco bar you can make. We like to do this on the weekend. I feel like it's a little bit specialer, but you could do Taco Tuesday. Some people like to do that as well. This also freezes great, so if you want to make it ahead of time, you can freeze it. You can take it camping. It travels well. What's not to love? All right, I gotta take photographs of it, so I'll show you guys on the screen now, but let me do that and then we'll take a bite. I hope you give this recipe a try. It's delicious, it's easy, the entire family will love it. It's definitely a favorite of ours. Now you can head over to our website, which is linked down below, to get this free printable PDF, and all of our recipes have a PDF for you guys to have at home. But I'm going to give this a taste test. Before I do, you want to make sure you're subscribed and have your notification bell on for our channel. I'll be posting this recipe next week for my birthday, and it's delicious. We're going to have it with vanilla and ice cream, and I'm going to share with you how easy this recipe is to make, and I know that you guys are going to love it. It's my favorite, so of course I'm making it for my own birthday coming up. Alright, so let's give these tacos a taste. So good. Packed full of flavor. You could add all of those toppings that you love as well. We're going to go enjoy these. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you next time. Bye.